Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. DStyleBoxing here. Hit my like button. You're listening right now on archive. Shout out to the live listeners right now. We got Shed Smoke. We got H Money, who was first. EJ Boxing Live. We got Chief Funky on here. What's going on, everybody? What's up? I don't think I missed anybody. If I did, I apologize. I want to talk about this Jake Paul thing, man. All right, let me take this off. There we go. Let's talk about this Jake Paul fiasco. You know, just want to come on here and talk to you guys about it and give you my thoughts. You know, we all have different opinions on this. I'm going to give you mine. You know, how I genuinely feel. The title reads, "Is Jake Paul, quote unquote, bad for boxing?" Yes and no. So listen up. Let me give you my perspective on this. Is Jake Paul, what he's doing right now, and for those that don't know, you're living under a rock, so I'm not going to explain it. All right? Jake Paul right now, I mean, he's 3-0 as a fighter. And when you really take a step back and you think about what Jake Paul is doing, right? Like if you take a step back and you analyze, and by the way, let me know if the audio's good. By the way, just let me know, guys. If it's coming off of, the mic, I mean, it should be, but just let me know. Jake Paul's 3-0. He's 3-0. How many boxers get into boxing, right? And what are they doing in their third fight? And we're talking about, fighters that try the amateurs first, guys that have an extensive amateur career, even if it's a short amateur career, but, spend a lot of time in the gym, sparring, doing road work from when they're teenagers or even younger than that. And then they get into the amateur scene and then they turn pro. Granted, they're not under a microscope. Granted, we're not all paying attention to all of them. There's not enough time in the day. Like even the guys that, I watch everything. I watch all the amateurs. Like, no, you don't, because they're not all televised. Okay? If you watch every single pro debut, you wouldn't have time to talk about the big fights, right? So watch some of them. So obviously, because he's a quote-unquote YouTube celebrity, which is a new type of celebrity. Well, we're not used to this type of celebrity. All right? We're not. For us, this is like a new thing. And because of that, his fights are garnering more attention than your typical pro debut, than your typical second fight, than your typical third fight, right? Like, it's not normal for dude to just be on pay-per-view fighting an MMA fighter with no boxing experience, right? In a pro ring, putting it on paper. That's not like a normal thing. So all of us are trying to kind of, get a sense of it. Like it's like new to us. That's what this is. Andre Rodriguez, A-Rod, the GOAT. How you guys doing? Stay here, man. I want to talk about this. Hit my like button. Check it out, man. I appreciate you guys being here. What we're processing right now is new information, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is new. Like all of it is new to us, right? So from the outside looking in, it was easy to bash it. And I'm not even saying stop doing it. I'm just saying from the outside looking in, being hardcore boxing fans, living in the boxing bubble like we do, because we talk about it, we analyze it, we debate it, right? We do podcasts about it. We do hour-long streams or hours-long streams about it and talk about the sport that we love. Or even if it's combat sports altogether, we talk about the combat sport sphere. It's a bubble we're in. And now this outside entity is coming in, and it's started to garner attention within, and it's including our bubble. And we're kind of like, yo, what's this extra space that this is filling in? Well, it's a void that's been a big gaping void in the bubble. This lack of satisfaction that we're getting as fans, which is why a lot of you were watching it on Saturday, even though we knew that this is not high-level boxing. We know this is a novice boxer against an MMA guy with the worst hands I've ever seen. We knew that going in, yet a lot of us watched it. Even though, there was world-class boxing on that day, like a lot of people were more interested in this. This void was easily filled in because we're not getting the fights. We're debating about them. We're talking about them. We're fighting with each other about it, right? But we're not getting the fights. The boxing fans are doing more debating and going back and forth more so than the fighters are actually fighting in the ring. So there's this, the fans, we're not getting what we want. We're not getting the Errol Spence versus Crawford fights that we want to see. We're not getting that. It's taking forever to get this heavyweight title fight signed, sealed, and delivered, ladies and gentlemen. Who else is here? Andre Rodriguez still on here. Gangsters Playground says Triller is circus, not pro boxing. That was definitely a circus. Sinaloa on here. There's nothing for boxing. A-Rod, how are you doing? Mr. Boxing Today, too. How are you doing? That's right. We are debating boxing splits and who should get what. And like, if we're going to get any of it. This is what happens when you try to play the celebrity role. Look. Let me tell you guys something. A lot of us laugh when a guy like Ryan Garcia is like, yeah, I want more money. Look at how many followers I have on social media. And a lot of us scoffed at that at first. We're like, well, what are you talking about, kid? That's not how it works. Well, times change. And social media is something new. And now we have social media fighters getting paid to fight, dude. Jake Paul made more money. Even his opponent, Ben Askren, made more money than Nick Campbell made his entire career in any one fight. And Nick Campbell was a unified lightweight champion of the world who gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the sport. But his highest payday was around the $400,000 mark. Times are changing. Times are changing quick. The more the suits realize you don't got to pit the best versus the best to sell and to make money. You just got to give people a show. Got to give people something to tune in for. They're realizing this, the more they're going for that. That's what we're getting right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting celebrity. Now, I believe it's going to be an oversaturation of it and it's going to go away. That's what I believe, right? Children's not the last ones that are going to try it. Like, I remember when DAZN tried the two YouTubers fighting, and now Triller's just taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, there's only so much of it that you could do before it gets old and stale, right? There's only so much of it. But at the moment, it's filling some void, at least in this boxing sphere. But the question I'm posing is it good or is it bad for boxing? Somebody put in the chat, I don't think it does anything for boxing. I could appreciate that opinion. So, but let me say this. Jake Paul, all right, is simply the symptom of a bigger problem. That's all he is. He's the product of a bigger problem. It's one of the Frankensteins that the sport has created. But D-Style, what do you mean? Frankenstein is a monster. No, 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 no. And I'm not talking about this mad scientist, right? I'm talking about, the Halloween monster, whatever. But anyway, the monster that Frankenstein created, let's say it that way. What do you mean? Look, when fights don't get made and one of the excuses that world champions use to avoid one fighter is while that guy doesn't bring any money to the table, he doesn't have a fan base. I know he's a mandatory, but he's just not. I mean, he's not popular though. He doesn't have a social media following, and so it's okay if he gets ducked. Like nobody knows who he is, and once you start implementing that into boxing culture, once you start doing that, I remember I used to joke around, and this is before we had before YouTubers were becoming celebrities, but before all that. Like there was big YouTubers, but there wasn't really YouTube celebrities, right? Like Jake Paul could probably walk the streets of New York right now. People will recognize who he is. Just random people. That's how you know you're a celebrity, right? He could probably just, and I mean multiple people. I don't mean a person here and there, Once you start doing that, then it starts becoming part of the culture. So now, if that's what it's about, if it's not a sport about skill and finding out like I believe boxing should be, it's like a hierarchy, and it should be about finding out who the best is, and that's why we do these fights. We want to know who is the best amongst these elite fighters, and it's like a constant experiment we keep experimenting with. Once it's no longer about that, and it's about it's about who's more popular and who has more followers on social media. And once you do it about that, then the social media celebrities are going to come to the sport. It's only a natural thing that's going to happen, and that's what we're getting right now. That's what's happening. Now, am I mad at Jake Paul? No. You see, we could wipe Jake Paul off the face of the earth, but if it's not him, it would be somebody else. We need to attack the root of the issue, not the effect. Jake Paul is only the effect of this problem, the sickness that the sport has. It's the only sport I could think of where we really don't want to see that competition to find out who's better, right? Like it's one of those sports where, yes, we do it, and like there are fighters that are fighting and all that, and I praise those fighters. Estrada is taking on let me tell you, Gallo Estrada is taking on everybody, all comers. He gets credit. He's not part of this problem. Chocolatito, same thing. 115 pounds, that division is on fire. But nobody cares about those little guys, though. No, nobody cares about the little guys. Nobody cares about the little dudes. They don't have any. They don't have a lot of viewers here in the U.S. Well, guess who does get the viewers in the U.S.? Jake Paul. Congratulations. Jake Paul is the effect, not the cause of a problem. Chop the head off that snake, another one's going to pop up. We already had Logan Paul and KSI, right? If it's not Jake Paul, it's going to be somebody else. It's going to be some other celebrity, right? If it's not him, it could be an MMA fighter, right? We've already had that issue that has no boxing experience, but he's going to get a big payday and all that. That he's going to be the one to get the opportunity against Floyd, and not one of our fighters. This is the culture that we've built. This is a symptom of a greater problem. But the problem with the symptom, though, is that at the very least, Jake Paul is fighting. At the very least, he's going in there and he's not, he doesn't really, he does look like a fighter, guys, whether we like to admit it or not. Like he's moving like a fighter. He looks like a boxer in there. He doesn't look like some clumsy dude that's closing his eyes and flailing away. I mean, he just doesn't look. He looks like a boxer. Now, I don't know how much more he wants to do from this. I don't know. But I don't think Jake Paul himself is what's wrong with boxing. He's just a natural product of what boxing has given us. That's it. It's a natural progression of what will eventually happen. Like, what's stopping some celebrity in the future, of whether it's a social media celebrity or whatever, right? What is stopping any celebrity from, that has a big following, from, fighting for a world championship one day? If it's sanctioned and it's done, and like in one fight to get an opportunity to become a world champion. Like we really need to kind of take a step back, and as boxing fans reassess what we want out of the sport. What do we want? Because you can, on one hand, be mad at Jake Paul and this Triller event, right? But then, on the other hand, find it completely acceptable that fights don't happen because one guy, is so popular and this other guy isn't popular and there's this other nonsense. I'm just saying. We're up, Pimp C. How's it going, brother? Isaac Bermudez, what's up? I don't mind, all right, shows like this, because we've always had shows like this, just not to a point where it's outselling 99% of the boxers out there. Ronald Fickley, I appreciate the super sticker, brother. How you doing? All right. I don't want to, you know what I mean? We have to take a step back here and really analyze, what do we want from the sport? What do we want? Look, in golf, they have celebrity golf. In other sports, they have celebrity basketball and stuff like that. But they're not it doesn't have a structure like boxing, so they're not selling it on pay-per-view and stuff like that. And they're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, doing it. Okay? So it's standing out more with our sport. There's no doubt about that. Big Show versus Tyson Fury. Hey, let's do it. Right. All I say is good for Jake, but I could care less about YouTube celebrity fights. I'll always watch good old regular boxing, says Isaac. I agree with you. I agree. What's stopping, let me put it this way, guys. If Jake Paul were to fight, let me just think of a random name, like Boo Boo Andrade. Now, we all know, I would think anyway, that I think Boo Boo Andrade will beat the shit out of Jake Paul. Okay? I do. And we all know that the one that's earned his stripes in boxing more so is Boo Boo Andrade. We all know that. But the way we've structured the sport is the A side would be, Jake Paul would be the A side because of the way the sport is structured. Boo Boo Andrade would be the A side because of the way we have structured the sport. I'm sorry, Jake Paul would be the A side. No, but he's not better. What do you mean? Well, this is what happens, right? So if I say, hey man, do you guys remember when boxing fans were totally okay with Maravilla Martinez getting stripped of his belt so they can have Chavez Jr. fight some I forgot the name of the guy. He was ranked up there, but they did skip over Martinez. And all I heard was, no, but this is good for the sport though, because he's the big name. He he's gonna bring more eyeballs to the sport. You know what I mean? So what did they strip him? We gotta bring more eyeballs to the sport. This kid's a superstar. It'll be better for boxing if he wins because he's more popular, right? Well, this is the problem we've caused. You know what I mean? Like this is. I'm just telling you guys right now. Jake Paul is simply an effect of what's causing all this. We need to start reassessing ourselves as boxing fans, as a sport, and what we want out of this. It's that time, you know? Getting people in the Hall of Fame because, hey, they were popular. Everyone knew about them. So does that mean, like, if Jake Paul keeps fighting MMA fighters and scrubs, since he's so popular, does he go to the Hall of Fame? Well, I don't know. I mean, we have to stop creating these stupid scenarios then. Well, here's the problem, Ron PMC. Are you asking any fighter right now that's 3-0 to fight somebody of that level, like a Shumanov or Trevor Bryant? Like Jake Paul only has 3 fights, guys. That's all he has. Now, I'm not comparing the two. Obviously, Berlanga's a far superior fighter than Jake Paul, but like no one's like demanding that he fight Canelo like right now or one of the champions. You know what I mean? You know, some of us have asked him to step up now. Don't get me wrong, but like, you know, but this is a pro boxer with an extensive amateur career that's had multiple fights, and we're not asking that of him. Yeah, boxing fans trying to protect Ennis Ortiz. No, don't put Ennis in the ring with Spence yet. He's not ready. But they're demanding that Jake Paul get in the ring with a real, like a dude that could really fuck him up. We got to get our priorities straight. Like, get your, like seriously. And Conor Benn's crazy. What do you mean he wants Amir Khan? You know, take it easy, Conor Ben. Take it easy there. That's too much of a step up. We use words. Look at the words we use for boxers. We use words like step up. We use words like, you know, marinate. So it's okay for Crawford and Spence. And again, I understand we're talking about different levels of boxing here. It's okay for them to marinate the fuck out of a fight that we really want to see, that will really dictate who is the best welterweight in the world, which what the sport should be about. Establishing a hierarchy of competition. But then we're saying, hey, put Jake Paul in the ring, one of the best cruiserweights in the world. What's going on, Beeb? I appreciate that. Ringside Report in the building. Gonna have a fire show on Thursday. I know it. Alpha Rican G in the building, showing that support. I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. And remember, you could join the DStyleBoxing membership just as low as 99 cents a month. It goes a long way in supporting DStyleBoxing and supporting HCP. And I appreciate everybody that supports, man. I really do. Check it out. Like, we need to understand. Like, all I'm asking is for fans to take a step back and realize this, right? What's wrong with boxing is not Jake Paul, the individual, and what he's doing, right? He's getting his bread. He's getting his money. I ain't going to hate on that, okay? I'm just being honest, okay? And it's not who he's fighting. I don't know who you guys want him to fight, right? Like, man, you know, people be like, man, Usyk, go back to cruiserweight, take out, Jake Paul to teach him a lesson. Like, everybody wants, they want this kid to be taught a lesson, and like I get it, bro. I get it. You know, he's doing what he's doing. He's irritating people, and he's irritated a lot of MMA fans, especially, right? A lot of MMA fighters are like, oh, why are you getting real with me? They're mad because he'd be like, it's whatever. Jake Paul himself and what he's doing is not the problem with boxing. The problem with boxing is boxing itself. The cause of this. That's the problem. Don't get mad at Jake Paul for taking advantage of our problem. Don't get mad at Jake Paul because we've structured the sport in such a way that if you're popular, you can market yourself in this way and make money. Don't get mad at Jake Paul because of that. Because we're not rewarding legacy. We're rewarding popularity and social media and all that. That's what we're doing. The Texan in the building. What's going on, my brother? Jake Paul versus George Kawaki. There you go. You know what's a good fight for Jake Paul? Clay Collard. I think that's a great fight. I think he needs... Look, Clay Collard beats some top 25 contenders. You know what I mean? So, and has an amateur background. So I'm not saying next, but the next 3 or 4 fights, you know, if it gets to that point. Look, I'll admit it. I was one of those guys saying, hey, put him in the ring, which is like you know what I mean? And do I think, look, I do believe he's delusional. I do believe Jake Paul really believes he's that dude, but so what? So what? Like I can't be a hypocrite. I can't in one hand say, hey, I don't care if a fighter says he could beat, you know, some of the best fighters of all time, even if I disagree with it. Because what are they supposed to say? You know? Like, is he supposed to say or quote unquote admit that he can't fuck with a top dude, that they will fuck him up? He ain't gonna say that, right? He's not. Plus, there's something that I believe Jake Paul took advantage of something that I was saying. Right? And because he did, I'm gonna give him credit for this because this is good for the sport. Okay? He's turned the tables on the MMA fighters. He's turned the tables on them, right? For the longest time. Like I'm petty as fuck, and I remember everything, right? Afro Rican Gene, the building, how's it going, brother? Chief Monkey, Stoka Vision, all you guys, man, I appreciate it. Jaramillo, how are you going? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. All right? Listen to me. All right? Listen to me very closely. Look at everything MMA has done at the expense of boxing. Okay? And listen closely. They've done it to our expense. It's what they've done. All right? The Paulo Malignaggi fight. Right? Till this day, they can't stop talking about, oh, Malignaggi, he lost in a boxing fight against a UFC flunky. Now, first of all, it wasn't a quote-unquote boxing fight. Now, it was very, very similar to boxing with one big exception. Like, you know, and it's a very vital one. It was a bare knuckle fight. Paulie broke his hand in the fight, dude. Okay? Anybody with a brain knew that Paulie has brittle hands. He uses orthopedic gloves. Okay? And if you break your hand, then you're pretty much fucked, dude. And I still think he won, but let's put that aside. Okay? Put that aside. Did MMA fans listen to the nuances of everything I just said? Like, yeah, it was, bro. But I mean, it is bare knuckle. He broke his hand. He's known for having brittle hands. You know, the boxing gloves he wears protects his hands from breaking, and he still has broken them. Do you think they gave a fuck? No, they relished and they celebrated like if a MMA dude went in there and beat a prime boxer in a boxing match. That's how they celebrated. Right? JC in the building, man. I appreciate the support, brother. Very much. $5 super chat. All you guys. HCP, check it out. So, and they relished and they celebrated. Chael Sonnen was like, oh my God, I guess boxing's not a real sport. You know, like all this, right? You still have MMA streams till this day, like, you know what's crazy, man? You know, the greatest boxer of all time got in the ring with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor just took it up as a hobby, and he almost beat Mayweather in their own sport. And he would have last 1 minute in the octagon against Conor McGregor. Like, you know, that's all I gotta fucking hear, right? You know, he got a ring with Floyd Mayweather, the greatest boxer ever. Nobody could even hit him. And Conor McGregor hit him more times than anybody in the history of histories. And he just took it up as a hobby, you know? Now, granted, all right, if we go through the nuances of it, all right, Conor McGregor started as a boxer. He was an amateur boxer, did amateur boxing for a long time. Conor McGregor is one of the best strikers in MMA, okay? Took out Aldo like in 9 seconds or something ridiculous like that, okay? Had his hands down, was beating up dudes left and right in the octagon with ease and shit, right? So it's not like he just took up, like he never threw hands in his life and he just took it up as a hobby. It's not being honest. That's number one. Number two, I'm not even going to use the age of Mayweather, but it's, you know, we could say it. The dude was 40 years old, okay? Third, he carried him. Anybody with a brain knows Mayweather never fights like that. You think Floyd is going to put his mitts up and come forward against a Marcos Maidana? He would have got knocked the fuck out if he did that against Maidana. These guys, like, that's what they wanted him to do. That's what Robert Guerrero wanted. Wishes Mayweather fought him that way. Or you're going to put your hands up and just come at me the whole time? Okay, let's go. All right? He carried him, dude. Like, it was obvious. And he even trained. The dude was at the strip club the whole week, leading to the fight. Oh, but you know, the greatest boxer that ever lived in the history of mankind. And boxing's been around for 4,000 years. And the best one of them all almost lost to Conor McGregor. Like, you know, like, shut up. Are you stupid? Some of these dudes are retarded, bro. Battle Rifle, how's it going? He carried him, Battle Rifle. It was obvious, bro. Are you kidding me? At the very, even if you don't think he carried him, he didn't take him that serious. But nonetheless, all right? So that is that. So that's how we got to hear, oh, MMA, where it's it, right? After every fight, like every other boxer on the planet, right? Challenging Canelo to a fight. Canelo's got to get in the ring with Masvidal is what he needs to do. Like for what? All right? Like, for what? We have the zone out here, like wanting to make a Masvidal Canelo fight and like just dumb shit, dude. Just dumb shit. I'm sorry. Stupid shit. These boxers ain't better at boxing than MMA fighter. Okay, so this is what they get. All right? Jake Paul was smart enough to know that there is delusional MMA fighters. Okay, now granted, he was also smart enough to know to not get one of the top strikers. All right? I get that completely. Right? But, like, dude, most of us were like, I have no idea who's going to win. And that was my analysis, because I was like, I don't even know how good Jake Paul really is. Even though this dude looks terrible in the mitts, I just didn't know. This was one of the hardest fights to predict for me anyway. If you knew Jake Paul was going to win hands down, cool. You know what I mean? You the man then. You predicted the shit out of it. Cool. I had no idea who was going to win this fight. And but these MMA dudes were like, dude, they were like confident. You know, one thing about, even though his hands don't look so good, is that he's a competitor and he's a real fighter. Jake Paul's not a real fighter. Like you know, he's taking kicks in the head. There's no way he's gonna knock him out. Like, are you for real? Are you for real now? So anyway, it's just funny to me that they believed like that. They were so confident coming in. Like, how is this novice? Dude, we're calling out the world champions in boxing. How the fuck is this idiot here going to do anything about it? And I think Jake Paul knew that. Boxing and MMA, it's a really small circle, guys. Right? He's over there, right? He's working with, like, BJ Flores, and he's working with J. Leon Love. He's getting sparring partners. Right, he sees the same things we see. He like he specializes in social media, right? He sees everything we see. I'm sure he sees the guys that are calling out Canelo and shit like that. Like I'm sure he sees all that. They said, okay, well, I'll fight him, right? And now, so anytime an MMA fighter, you see the table, now they all want to fight him. Like you have, like Woodley came out, because Jake Paul came out and said, who wants to retire next? Who should I retire next? And that's so disrespectful. Like, get the fuck out of here. He did say he was going to beat up. Like, if somebody told you they're going to beat you up and teach you a lesson and then you knock them out, like you really don't owe them anything. I'm sorry. All right? Y'all know, how's it going? How's it going, bro? You don't owe them anything. Puerto Rican rum. Daniel Cormier wants, if he might box, like, can they just make it a boxing fight? Daniel Cormier against Jake Paul, like if Cormier has to drop pounds, and does Cormier beat Jake Paul? Let's get a vote. Jake Paul versus Daniel Cormier in a boxing fight. Who wins? Who wins? Because then they all want to avenge MMA against his YouTuber, right? And I think it's beautiful. Like, honestly, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's like somehow worked out, like it's worked out in a way, it really has, for all that shit they've been talking. Now you got to deal with a YouTube novice dude before you even dare talk about our champions. Now, granted, okay, Logan Paul fighting Floyd is the greatest finesse in history. He should act like he's hurt after 2 rounds to take a dive, easiest money ever made, and don't have to break a sweat or get embarrassed. Look, Logan Paul against Floyd, man. Let me tell you guys something. I mean, granted, look, Logan Paul has size on him. I'll give him that all day, okay? But that's literally his only advantage. That's it. I have seen guys that know how to fight that weigh less than Floyd, are nowhere near as talented as Floyd, beat up some big dudes in gyms. So imagine what a Floyd's going to do. I'm just saying, like, the levels to this. But I don't even think Floyd should be fighting Logan. I think he should be fighting Jake, to be honest. I think he's fighting the wrong Paul. Yeah. Holly Holm was, I don't know who you're directing that to, but I hear you. But that is a true statement, yeah. All right. Just saying. So, is Jake Paul the problem? No, Jake Paul's not the problem. He's not. It just isn't. Let me put it this way, right? If you had $1 million and you were transferring your cash from one bank to the other, and they put this $1 million like in a van or some shit, right? For whatever reason, they didn't lock the doors right? And in the middle of the highway, they hit some bumps, the doors open, the box with the cash falls out, and the van keeps driving, right? They're like, oh, man, I don't know what happened. We lost the money. What do you mean you lost the money? We lost the money, bro. You lost the money? Yeah, yep. We lost the money, all right. We did. We lost that money, right? Let's say that's the case. We lost the money. Okay, cool. But let's say, let me get somebody from the chat. Let's say Battle Rifle is driving down the road and he sees this box and he stops and he sees that there's $1 million. Well, he might not know it's $1 million, but he knows a shitload of money in cash, right? So he puts it in the trunk and he drives off. Is Battle Rifle the problem? Is the guy that got the money that was just laying in the middle of the road the problem? Or is it somebody that was fortunate and took advantage of a situation that he did not cause in any way, shape, or form, but it happened to be there, right? But DStyle, you should give the money back. Yeah, okay. Like, I'm sure you would give the money back, right? But look, the ones to blame are the ones that put the money in the van, didn't lock it right, weren't driving right, didn't pay attention to the fact that the money fell out. That's what a lot of these boxers are doing. They're letting money fall out, and then we get mad when somebody like Jake Paul shows up and takes advantage of that empty void and makes his money. That's what we're doing. We need to start making these fights, man, because, hey, you never know, man. We may turn around one day and celebrity boxing is just a way bigger thing than the actual sport. You understand? Well, there you go, battle. And that's exactly how Jake Paul is. Jake Paul, I'm just putting on an event. Nobody's forced to buy or pay attention to Jake Paul event. Nobody's forced to do it. Yet, they're doing it. Okay? Yet, they're doing that. Think about it. Right? So Jake Paul he's just filling up that empty void. He's just the one picking up that money that's being left behind. That's all he's doing. All right? Just saying. I'm just saying. That's right. He'll be a millionaire. But you got to give that money back, though. It's not your money. Like, okay. Well, I hear people saying that. Hey, Jake Paul, this is boxing. It's not for you. Go back to what are you doing? And no, boxing's for anybody. If you get a boxing license, you can box if you fucking want, right? If Mayweather fought an MMA fighter, why can't Jake Paul fight an MMA fighter? No, but DStyle, that's an unfair comparison. Why is that an unfair comparison? Well, that's not right because Conor knows how to strike. This guy doesn't know how to strike. Okay, but like Mayweather's a much better boxer than Jake Paul, right? So there you go. That's facts right there. That's facts right there. If we, and by the way, hit my like button, guys. I much appreciate it. So what else is it to say? Other than stop looking at Jake Paul. It's not like, unless you can make this argument for me. No, everything was great, DStyle. Things were up and boxing. This motherfucker shows up and fucked it all up. Unless you can present me with an argument where you could prove that, there ain't no way, no shape, no form you can blame. There's no way you can blame Jake Paul. He's just that guy that happened to see the $1 million for the taking in the middle of the road, right? That's all he is. And I don't blame him. I'm going to get those $1 million. Well, you think I'm going to be that dude that's going to take a picture with the cops? That nice civilian and this with a thumbs up and shit? Hey, thanks for turning the $1 million. We're going to give you this plaque for being a good civilian. There you go. Now I'm going to take that money. That's what I'm going to do. Isaac, how's it going, brother? So unless somebody tell me, but DStyle, everything was on the up, and then fucking Jake Paul showed up and fucked it all up. Last I checked, we still can get the fights we want, right? Not all of them. There are fights we're getting. I need to keep emphasizing that, right? But it's like anything in life. We focus on the things we're not getting, not the things we're getting sometimes, That's human nature. Why shouldn't we? Afro Rican G in the building. How's it going, brother? Can Jake versus Conor break pay-per-view records? And who do you got if it happens? Wow. Can it? Yes. NYY Max, how's it going? Intangible Boxing News. Good channel, by the way. You guys subscribe to Intangible Boxing News. Subscribe to A-Rod 83 Book Sale. NYY Max, how's it going, brother? Afro-Rican G, can Jake Conor break pay-per-view record? Can it? The answer is yes. Anything can happen. Will it? I don't think so. Just because, first of all, the Conor that fought Floyd isn't the same Conor now. Like, oh, it's the same guy. Like, I get it, but I just think he's like the aura he had going into the Floyd fight. He doesn't have that right now. I'm just telling you guys right now. So it would still sell, but I'd say about. It might do like 2 million though. Like, we'll keep it honest. You know, is he the face already? God damn, the dude's the face of boxing, bro. The face of boxing. Damn, some crazy stuff. Stuff right there. The face of boxing. Anyways, guys, just looking at something here on my end. I apologize. Orlando Chavez, Jake Paul weighed 190 for the fight. Man. Clover says Jake Paul gotta humble the kid. I mean, god damn, you guys want to put him in there with Canelo, dude? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just we're not gonna learn anything by that. Other than I just hate the kid. I just want to see him get beat up. Other than that, well, what good does it do? Now that might be good enough. I get it. But what good does it do, you know? What good does it do? You know, I don't think it does any good. I watch Jake and Logan Paul's fights on YouTube because that's the best way to do it. On YouTube, right? Yeah. Hey, man, I kind of want to see like some of these celebrity, like the new type of celebrity, right? Like the social media celebrities, whether YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Like fight the celebrities, like athletes or actors. Like maybe we could do a league like that. You know what I mean? Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Oh man, you know what I think they might do? They might make Jake Paul versus Chuck Liddell. They might make that fight. And my guess that one's next. And if you saw the third Liddell Ortiz fight, let me tell you something, man. Like, Liddell looked shot. He was a shot fighter. What do you guys got right now? Jake Paul or Chuck Liddell? Let me know who you guys think wins that fight right now. You know what I mean? Let me know. Let me know who wins that fight. I want to know. I want to know what you guys' opinions. I need to know. Like, stop and think about it. But who wins? Man, Paul over Chuck, Jake Paul. No, nobody will pick former UFC light heavyweight champ. Oh, Dennis Dillon isn't he like another dude that's just a striker? He's not like, I'm sorry, he's just a grappler. Yano, there's nothing wrong with your statement, brother. I don't know why you retracted it, but I do, because I think you're right. I think that Dennis guy wants to fight him. You know what I mean? Man, oh man. Hey guys, Leave It in the Ring is live right now at the moment. I'm gonna put a link. It's there in the chat right now. Go ahead and click on that, man. Leave It in the Ring Monday show is currently on. They're on an hour earlier. But I hear you guys, and I agree, by the way. Jake Paul will knock out Chuck Liddell right now. And man, with that cost some outrage because the Dow is nowhere near. He's not 1% of what he used to be. So I'm just saying, man, like Cali's taking a step further. Like Paul can set up the punches, right? And by the way, when you guys go there, man, let them know that HCP sent ya. Just put like hashtag HCP or DStyle sent me or something like that. All right. There is a link. It's right now. It's in the chat. I picked Chuck Norris beating Jake Paul. Nah, LT. Like Jake Paul will knock out Chuck Norris in a boxing fight right now. Chuck Norris is old, bro. Like Chuck is like ese way. It's a skeleto, bro. That guy's a skeleton, brother. Like he's old, bro. Like, God damn, he's old. Like super old. You know. So I'm gonna post that link there. Leave it in the ring, guys. Go ahead and check that out. Let them know. That DStyleBoxing sent you. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. The link is in the chat, guys. The link is in the chat. Brandon Lee said he would pay to fight Jake Paul. That he would pay. Well, okay, all right. All right. I don't think Jake Paul's going to fight any top boxers for a while. Like, if he ever does. Like, he has a little niche now where he's boxing the MMA dudes, and I think he's starting with the grapplers on purpose, you know? And he's only getting better, the guys. He's doing it. He's training. He's getting better. He's improving. You know what I mean? And all that. So, there you go. Masvidal versus Usman 2 is already made. Is it? Like, was it really, like, high demand for that fight? Like... Dude, that was one of the worst main events I ever seen on a pay-per-view ever. And then now that I'm asking you guys to go to the other stream, like you're coming in droves. But, you know? LT, what's going on, brother? Complex Mind, Covington would smash Masvidal. There's a video of Colby beating up George. Damn. I think Covington versus... I think that's the fight people want to see. Because of everything riding with it and shit. You know what I mean? Like, everything riding with it, all that good stuff, you know? You know what I think it is, man? Let's see. There it is. I don't think it was posting, was it? All right, guys, the chat. The link is in the chat, guys. So make sure you go there, man. Check out Leave It in the Ring. They're live right now. So go ahead and check that out, guys. I'm going to be closing this one out in a little bit. If you guys have any other questions, shoot them quick, and I'll answer them quick. You know what I mean? Really, really quick. Go ahead. Any questions? Complex Mind. There are 3 or 4 different videos of Kobe. All right. The rest are born to watch, just like Khabib versus Conor was born too, all hugging, just like Usman versus Masvidal. Man. NYY Max, don't want to make excuses for Usman winning, but I don't think Masvidal was in shape with the fight. Usman was a rematch. It should be more entertaining. Okay. Hopefully, that's how it goes. You know what I mean? Hopefully, that's how it goes. Yo, guys, I appreciate everyone coming on, everyone that hit the like button. I haven't done a solo video in a while. I just wanted to come on here, just chop it up with you guys for a little bit. I'm going to go right now, check out Leave It in the Ring with Dave and Amilcar. They're live right now as we speak. Hit the like button, hit the bell button, that way you're notified every time I go live. We'll be live tomorrow for Hispanics, Cows, and Panic. We'll also be live at G Funky, so subscribe to G Funky Boxing for HCP Uncensored. And, of course, the Roundtable every Thursday. So you want to hit that bell button so you're notified and all that stuff. Keep up with the community page so you get all the updates, all that shit. What's the meaning of life, says Mario Figueroa. The meaning of life is to watch as much boxing as possible, right? Like the gods created this earth for you to watch prize fighting as much as possible and support the sport of boxing. Now, that's the meaning of life. You know what I mean? So if you're doing that, you are fulfilling your meaning of life. Yano, hey, shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate that. Salute to HCP. Okay. It was about smashing the toes. I don't even know why stomping is legal, man. That shit looks lame as fuck, but that's me. You know what I mean? So go check out Leave It in the Ring. The link's in the chat. Click on it. Give them that listen. Give them that like. And I'll see you guys there. Peace out.